welcome to a new show on my channel I like to call Quick Draw. This show is all about basically throwing out a script, just don't need one, and just talking about some games that I've wanted to talk about, but just didn't feel like doing a whole review on. So just consider these nice little in-betweens for the main reviews. Anyways, the first one we're talking about today is a game called Vexx. My version's on the GameCube, but I think it came out on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox as well. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Anyways, I kind of have sort of an interesting history with this game. Back when I was like 11 or something, I saw it at a Blockbuster, and I really, really wanted to try because it looked so cool. I mean, the character looked interesting. He's got 2 X's in his name. What's not to like? Anyway, so I asked my dad to rent the game for me, and he did, so I got to have it for, I think it was just a Saturday. Anyways, turned out though that same Saturday I had some relatives coming over, and, well, I didn't get much playing done that day. So we returned it, and for some weird reason, we never rented it again. I don't know. I always had that rule where it's like, you rent a game once at Blockbuster and then we don't rent it there again. I don't know. But the only thing I remembered about it was the 2 X's, the edginess, and the fact you could climb walls with these clawy things that looked pretty cool. Fast forward many years later, I finally got a hold of a copy of the game, and I actually got to play it again, and it's not bad, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't put it under, like, must-play game. The controls feel nice. It's a regular old collect-a-thon, only with a really edgy, dark tone for some reason. To be honest, I actually never really got into those kind of games. Hated Mario 64. Never owned the Banjo-Kazooie games, so I know. It's awful. I was a deprived child, oh lord. But yeah, no, I never really got into collect-a-thon games. So, this is actually probably my first time really getting into one, and I don't know if this is just standard fare or whatever. I mean, the game looks alright. I mean, it's not the best looking aged game. Anyways, as I was saying, it's your standard fare. I mean, that's the only thing I feel bad about is replaying it again. I realize how mediocre the game is. There's nothing especially great about it. I mean, it's really not the worst game in the world, but it's not really one that makes you go, wow, it's so memorable, and gee, I can't put it down. Especially since some of the missions are really frustrating. I mean, the only thing I find fascinating about it is, at the time this game came out, for some reason, games decided, let's all be dark and edgy. But at the same time, this was also when platformers were really big, like 3D platformers and stuff. I mean, it's like, I find it hilarious looking at the world now. It's like, oh, yeah, everyone complains there's too many FPSs and stuff, and I'm like, back in the day, there used to be a lot of 3D platformers, and platformers in general. Now there's still more platformers. Platformers have gotten a bit of a resurgence thanks to the whole indie scene. But yeah, I mean, lately it felt like, geez, you were lucky if you found any of that wasn't Nintendo. But at the same time, it's like everyone wanted to be super dark and edgy. So you ended up getting games like Jak 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog, it's just so, I just find it such a surreal time. Having a game that's super simple, like gameplay wise, it's your standard fare, like very just run around at your own leisure, punch some stuff, get the thing, collect the thing, move on to the next thing. But at the same time, it's got this dark tone of, oh, my people have been slaved, and I have these dark markings under my eyes. Oh, Lord. It's just... I mean, I guess if anything, that's just the thing I find so remarkable about this game is it really is just this embodiment of the time era that it existed in, where it was super dark, but yet still platformy. I was sad that this game never took off. It never got any sequels or anything, as far as I know. At the same time, I haven't finished it. I really couldn't beat it. I just wasn't interested. I played through the first 3 or 4 levels. There's like a swamp level and desert level, forest level, you know, all that jazz. I don't know if the game gets better, but at the point that I got, I just didn't care enough about it to continue. So yeah, that about sums up my feelings on the game. I know it's not like the most interesting. I find it funny that it was a game that stuck with me for years. I never forgot it, and then I finally got to play, and it really wasn't that remarkable. I probably only remembered it just because it was so dark and edgy, and you had these cool looking claw things, and whatever. I mean, I really remember getting into the whole climbing mechanic, which is funny because replaying the game I find it kind of annoying because it's so slow. I mean, I guess if you wanted like a verdict of what I would recommend, I mean, if you run across it and it's cheap, like if it's less than $10, and you're really into collectathon games or whatever they're called, like Hat in Time, that's a new Kickstarter-y game that's coming out that's in that style, or like Banjo-Kazooie games, I would think you would like this kind of game. I mean, it's the standard fare in that regard. But if you don't like collectathon games and you find them really irritating or you hate 3D platformers, don't bother with this game. I mean, like, if you only play them under exceptional circumstances, this won't be it for you. That, I know it sounds really lame, like, oh, if you like it, you'll like it, if you don't, you don't, but that's pretty much, the game is so neutral that it's like, it's not a bad game. I mean, it's just your preference. I don't really care for collectathon games, so it really didn't do anything for me, but if you are, then it might do everything for you. So yeah. Not the best, not the worst, I guess, is all I'm getting at. I just kind of wanted people to know that it existed. So, yep, that about sums up my quick draw on Vexx. Hey everybody, thanks for watching my quick draw video on Vexx. Sorry if it was a bit of a mess, but I just figured if I could come out with these kind of videos, I might be able to make sure I maintain my workly schedule. I know I wanted to have a video out every other week, and things have gotten crazy, so, you know, things sort of slipped around, but hopefully if I do a few more quick draws or something like it, I might be able to pick up the pace and make sure there's a video every other week. I've got a bit of a schedule planned out, so hopefully I'll be just ready for you guys then. In the meantime, I do have some other videos. I have a video on Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, if that's your sort of thing. I also have a video on rhythm games, if you know that catches your preference. It's top 5 rhythm game list, which I don't know if I'm going to show any footage on the screen because that might spoil who's on the list. But there can only be one winner, and it's not that drum game. Ooh. So anyways, thanks again for watching. In the description below I have a link to my Tumblr, my Twitter. Maybe you guys can be helpful and tell me how to use a Twitter so that way I can be hip and with it. Subscribe if you wanna. Like if you wanna. You know, live your own life. Don't make me tell you how to do it. But anyways, that's about it. So I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.